Grand rising to everyone. Grand rising to everyone. Have a very, very important message that I'm going to be sharing with everyone this morning. And so I will ask that you would share this live as well. Share it with us. Share it with us. We'll be going live in just one moment. I want to share this and ask that you would do the same. My apologies for the initial start of the live broadcast. So I'm restarting for those of you who are wondering what just happened. Okay. The big question of the morning is, what would you give in exchange for your soul? Now, immediately, most of us would say, well, nothing. So we are just going to do a couple of things here. And this is for all of us to take heed to. This is not just a me to you message. This is something that we all need to take heed to. So give me just one moment. I have shared it. I'm going to ask that you all share it as well. Shabbat shalom to you all. This is a beautiful Shabbat morning. Beautiful indeed. But the truth must be told on every turn. I'm going to ask the question again. What would you give in exchange for your soul? Shalom to chosen daughter in the chat, and all of you who will be joining us as we get underway with this very important message. Shabbat shalom to Nubian Queen as well. Some messages need to be told over and over again. We are living in a time where it's almost as if we are in a whirlwind of confusion in this whole world, on this whole planet. So many things are happening so quickly. Before you can process one thing, something else is happening. But it's not for us to be shaken in our faith by any means. Not at all. So, again, I'm going to ask the question and then I'm going to get into the message. What would you give in exchange for your soul? Most of us would answer nothing. We would say that we wouldn't give anything in exchange for our soul because our soul is precious to us, right? Our soul is precious to us, but most of us don't realize that we have already exchanged our soul for something else. Because we don't tend to our soul like we should. Recently, I did a message talking about tending to your soul. Most people don't think about where they will spend eternity because they are too focused on time. This right now existence. They are more focused on that than they are where they're going to spend eternity. And so therefore they will give so many things in exchange for their soul, not even realizing. One thing that I've come to realize is that most people think that just living a decent, good life is enough to qualify their soul for a good place in eternity. When I say a good, decent life, I'm speaking about not intentionally doing anyone wrong, occasionally giving to the poor, being kind to your family, being kind to your neighbor, saying hello, going to church on Sunday, or for some people once a year. Folk get dressed up for Easter as if they are going to fulfill some type of spiritual requirement. not realizing that the Most High is no fool. He knows that they are more committed to their lives than they are to him. He knows that they have no commitment to him whatsoever, that they are just all about the Sunday dress, all about the Easter dress, the Easter suit. There's one day a year of acknowledgement that he exists. Most of the time, people go through their lives not even thanking the Most High for the breath in their body that he so freely gives. Most people go from day to day not even acknowledging that this is the day that he has made. So if they're not going to even acknowledge that this is the day that he has made, what makes you think that they're going to rejoice and be glad in that day towards him? Most people don't even acknowledge that it is in him we live, in him we move, and in him we have our being. And so it seems that the majority of the world has already exchanged their soul for a place in the world. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things that the Most High will allow us to have in our lives. He says, I wish above all that you wouldest prosper and be in good health. Most people stop right there. They stop right there. But the scripture continues on and says, even as your soul prospers. Let me say that again. He said, I wish above all that you wouldest prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. What would you give in exchange for your soul? A lot of people have chosen fame, fortune, lust, and desire, men, women, career. They've chosen all of these things. Now get this. No one is saying that you cannot serve the Most High if you have certain things. But if your focus and your desire is more towards those things and you don't seek the Most High and his righteousness, then you have chosen those things over him. Didn't his word say, seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness? Then all these things will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness, then all of these things will be added unto you. In other words, we don't have to seek after these things. Because, get this, the Most High also said, if you delight yourself in me, I will give you the desires of your heart. So it all goes back to him simply saying, delight yourself in me, and I'll give you the desires of your heart. Seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, then these things will be added unto you. If we can just understand those very simple things, but the problem is the flesh has no desire to seek the Most High. The flesh is trying to figure a way to get all of this stuff to circumvent the Most High's word. But everybody want to go to heaven though, y'all. There's an old Christian song that says, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Right? So a lot of folk talking about heaven, everybody's being put into heaven when they die, regardless of how they live their lives. Loved ones are always plopping people in heaven, throwing angel wings on the backs of people who did not honor Yah with their lives. They did not tend to their souls. They did not consider where they would spend eternity if they drew their last breath. I'm going to go to some scriptures that will remind us that we better tend to our souls, and that we can't just make everything about this life. Everything cannot be about just this life. That's what the scripture says. Prosper as your soul prospers. So the first scripture I've already stated, but I'm going to say it again. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world, yet lose his soul? Or what would a man give in exchange for his soul? Says, if anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his Father's glory with his holy angels. So again, most people, they don't want to spend any time glorifying Yah. They don't want to give him the glory for anything that he's done for them. Not even waking them up in the morning. This is why he said, you ashamed of me? I'm going to be ashamed of you when I come in the glory of my Father with the holy angels. You see, most people want to live their lives void of any type of understanding of truth, any type of acknowledgement of truth. You know what trips me out, family? When you go to these, when you look at some of these award shows, and you'll see a person who is just openly sinful, openly wicked, singing all kinds of lustful music, bumping and grinding and hip hopping and doing all kinds of wicked things. Playing in movies where they rolling around in the sack, acting like they gay or lesbian in a movie. Acting like hookers, tramps, and whores in movies, right? Doing all kinds of things in the name of entertainment. But then as soon as the world rewards them, they get up on stage and they say, I want to thank God for allowing me to win this award. So the world, the scripture says the world loves its own. So the world will reward its own. That's all. You getting a reward from the world. But you on the stage thanking the Most High? You see how backwards folk are? And already traded their soul in for fame and fortune. But yet they want to thank the Most High. They want to thank him for it. And now there's this new push where you have men marrying men and women marrying women. And got the nerve to want to say, I thank God for helping me to find the love of my life. Oh my goodness. What in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? Folk done already exchanged their soul for the desires of their own hearts. Already exchanged their soul. But got the nerve to thank the Most High for allowing them to get some of these wicked roles, to be in a wicked relationship, to sing a wicked song. What would you give in exchange for your soul? Most people are not tending to their soul. They don't even consider where their soul will spend eternity. I have more scripture. More scripture. It is a very sad day when people don't understand what the Most High requires of them. They got it all twisted. I remember years ago, I heard Oprah say that God was jealous of her. And I said, whoa, how big can one's head get? Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. God is jealous of you, right? When I heard that woman say that God was jealous of her, I said, it done went to her head. So here, let me give you the other scripture. So this one, I'm coming out of Luke in the 12th chapter. And I'm going to skip on down to verse 16. And it says, and I'm going to read more than just 16, but I'm going to start at 16. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But Yahuwah said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich towards the Most High. So we're talking about a man that was so rich that he said, I don't have enough room to receive, so I need to tear this down and build something bigger. And then my soul shall say, so he's talking about how wonderful his life is going to be once he tears down that old barn and builds a bigger one, right? So that he can hold all of his goods. And then he talks about, he even boasts about having goods laid up for many years. And so I can just take ease and eat and drink and be merry. But the Most High says, see, you just gave something in exchange for your soul. You weren't tending to your soul. You weren't tending to your soul at all, because you were not rich towards the Most High. That was the bottom line. Nowhere in any of that did he acknowledge the Most High. Nowhere. He just talked about what he had done and how he don't have to think about anything. I can just be at ease. Eat, drink, and be merry. He said that his soul had much goods laid up for many years. No thanking of the Most High, no acknowledging of him, none of that. He wasn't rich towards Yah, he was only rich on this earth. And so the Most High said, thou fool, thou fool, thou fool. This night your soul shall be required of thee. In other words, the thing that you can't have any control over, or you don't have any control over, I'm about to take it from you. Most High took his life, took the breath out of his body, and said, this night your soul shall be required of thee. That quick, it happened. See, that's what people don't understand. We've been hearing more and more how rich people are meeting the end of their lives. Now, notice what the Most High said in that passage. When he said, "Thou fool, thy soul shall be required of thee." He said, "Then whose things will those be?" All of that stuff that you were boasting about, you were so proud of. Who gonna get it next? Because this night your soul gonna be required of you. The thing that you hold so dearly, he said, "I'm about to take it from you because I'm taking your life." And that stuff is not going to go through that great portal with you. All of the things that you own will not go through that crossover portal with you. So it's not just about fame and fortune, everyone. If you are a person who has pride in yourself, in your life, the scripture says all that's in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life, right? Some people sit up and they are so proud of themselves, what they look like, what they have, what they've accomplished, the lives they've set up. But they don't understand that in a moment's notice, less than a moment's notice, that the Most High can require your soul of you. What would you give in exchange for your soul? Too many people live their lives on a daily basis, not once acknowledging the Most High, not thanking him, not understanding who he is and what he is capable of. Too many people live their lives with the wrong understanding. Too many people only consider what it is they want to do with their lives. I want you all to take heed to what I'm saying here, because it doesn't even have to be something as big as fame and fortune. We need to realize that our lives are but a vapor. It's just a vapor. When you look how quickly time goes by, how quickly time goes by. My husband and I, we were just talking the other day about where we were at a certain age in our lives. And I said, man, I remember when I was 27 years old, we were out to dinner with some family members. We were living back in Michigan at the time. And I said, do you remember when everyone around the table was sitting back talking about, oh, you're 27 years old? Because everyone at the table were older than me. My husband's older than me. And I said, that was a long time ago. Those years flew by. In our minds, it seems like it was only like a couple of years ago. In our minds, you may say, oh, 5 years ago. No, that was a long time ago. 22 years. It goes so fast. Life is but a vapor, but most people do not tend to their souls. They tend to their lives. They focus on their time. They don't focus on eternity. See, time is just a slot that we are all given. Eternity lasts always. Where will you spend eternity? What would you give in exchange for your soul? People try to ensure their spot within time, but they don't focus on eternity at all. Everybody is trying to carve their niche within time. They want to carve their niche within time to ensure their place or their space within time. But we are supposed to focus on where we are going to spend eternity. And so when you focus on that more so than your position in time, you will find yourself doing those things that are required of you to do in order to make sure that you spend eternity in the right place. JB in the chat says they remember when they were 25, now they're 39, and then they say, I can't play games in my 40s. That's right. That is right for every last one of us, even if you're young. See, things ain't like they used to be. Even if you're young, even if you're in your 20s right now and you're listening to me and you're under the sound of my voice, you're in your 20s, your 30s, even in your teens. Don't assume that you have the time to do anything. See, a lot of young people, they live by that idea or thought that I'm young, nothing's going to happen to me. I remember many years ago, there was a Christian entertainer. They said that their 17-year-old daughter was just standing right there in front of them. Wasn't sick, didn't have no type of disease or ailment or anything, no type of anything. But right there in front of him, he said his 17-year-old daughter just dropped dead. Life came right out of her. Her time was up and she entered into eternity. She entered into eternity. Marcia said, Yah is wrapping this thing up. Teacher 2 says, time is speeding up. Ms. Eby says she remembers her 30s and now she's 50. Time is flying. We have to understand, y'all, this thing is moving at warp speed. This is why the strong admonishment is needed. Instead of trying to carve your position or your place in time, focus on where you will spend eternity. You don't have the kind of time you think you have. We don't. Like Will B says, Adonai will come like a thief in the night. That means unexpected, y'all. Unexpected. It's time to tend to your soul. It is time to tend to your soul. And so let me tell you something else. It's not just about fame and fortune again. I said that, but now let me go into a little bit deeper details on that. You have some people who are occupied with folly, foolishness, out here doing some wicked stuff, right? Because they think they got time. They think the Most High has hid his eyes from their sins. So they are out here doing things. Backstabbing, backbiting, backpedaling, backsliding. Running back to their vomit like a dog. They think they got time to do all of that stuff and wallow around and play around with sin and frolic around with the devil. So as they set about in their lives to do certain things, they don't even consider what's on the other side of that. If I do this folly right here, what's on the other side of that? They don't even consider. If I go down this dark path, will I be able to make it back? They don't consider these things. So you can even exchange your soul for the pleasures of sin. Sin don't just have to be about fame, fortune, and lust and money and all of that. It could be about sex. Some people say, look, I'm going to do this thing right here. I'm going to do this. I know I'm not supposed to. I'm going to lay with this woman. I'm not supposed to. I know it, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? Another person may say, I'm going to lay with this man. I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to do it anyway, because they have determined within themselves that joy of sin is worth it to them. But they have to understand the joys of sin only last a season, but the season isn't worthwhile. What would you give in exchange for your soul? That is the question that we must ask ourselves. Are you giving up your soul for a morsel of meat? Are you giving up your soul for the joy of sin? For a night of pleasure? Fame, fortune, money? Are you giving up your soul so that you can have the ability to backstab somebody? It was worth it to you? You don't know what's on the other side of that devious deed you've done? That wicked deed you've done? You don't know what's on the other side of that, but you're willing to risk your soul for it? What would you give in exchange for your soul? Many people are living their lives so recklessly, because they don't think the Most High is watching, because they don't understand what's at stake. I'm here to tell you today what is at stake is your soul, and you need to tend to it, because this chunk of time that you have been given is coming to an end. And your place in eternity needs to be sealed by the blood of the Lamb. With that, family, I'm going to say shalom. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.